Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Bay Area Women's Toastmasters meeting. I am Aarti Jadhav, your Sergeant at Arms, and it's my absolute pleasure to kick off today's meeting, which also is a start of our very first AI workshop series. We are excited to have you all join us as we explore the fascinating world of artificial intelligence and its vision for the future. Before we begin, a quick reminder to please keep your cell phones on silent and your microphones muted so we can stay focused and engaged throughout the session. Now, let's get the meeting officially started. Please join me in welcoming our club president, Shalini Kaushik. Thank you.
Thank you, Aarti. Good evening, everyone, Toastmasters and guests. We are so thrilled to host our workshop, AI Conversation Confidence, bridging the AI gap for everyone, I would say, not only women leaders. So we are Bay Area Women Toastmasters Club, and we build confidence. We prepare people for the world market. We learn by doing teamwork together, and we help building a supportive environment, a network. For those who might be wondering, why is a communications club hosting an AI workshop? So I want a moment to spend some time explaining this. So Toastmasters is not only a college kind of lecture or a tech seminar, it's a supportive learn by doing workshop, which we are doing right now. So you can't expect to nail an AI strategy presentation without practice, right? So here in our club, you get to practice in a safe environment. We teach you how to structure complex ideas, think on your feet, master impromptu speaking, and lead the conversation. So moving on to my TM role, Toastmaster role for the evening. Now let me welcome our speaker, ABHIJEET Joshi. ABHIJEET Joshi is no stranger to innovation at the intersection of technology and communication. With nearly a decade of experience driving cutting edge hardware and software programs at NVIDIA, he has been at the forefront of artificial intelligence, from GPUs that power today's breakthroughs to the AI platforms shaping tomorrow. But beyond the technical mastery, he has a passion for making complex ideas simple and impactful, whether it's guiding global engineering teams, mentoring leaders across continents, or inspiring audiences through Toastmasters. So today, he brings us into the fascinating world of Vision AI. Have you heard of Vision AI? So, technology that enables machines to see, interpret, and act on the visual world. From self-driving cars to medical imaging to everyday applications, we don't even realize these are all powered by it. Vision AI is transforming how we live, work, and interact. So please join me in welcoming ABHIJEET Joshi as he shares his insights on Vision AI, seeing the future through the eyes of machines. Over to you, ABHIJEET. And I can be the timer, 20 minutes, right? Okay.
I've been in the same team as a technical program manager at NVIDIA. And there was a time that I wanted to move to another team. The other team was working on Vision AI. So I read about what Vision AI is. And next day, I was having a one-on-one with the hiring manager. As I was having that one-on-one, the hiring manager started playing this video. As I was watching this video, I was amazed by the analytics that was coming up in the corner. As the video was playing, I could ask it any questions and it would answer me. I was blown away by what was happening. How can we know what is happening in the video by just asking the questions? And that is all about Vision AI. So let's find out what is all about Vision AI. Here is the agenda. We'll first go into understanding what is Vision AI. And then We'll compare how does the vision of a camera compares to the vision of a human being. That comparison is very helpful for us to understand how machines see the world. And then I'm going to go into the 3 parts of Vision AI. What are those 3 parts that make it happen? Remember, this is going to be an interactive session, so I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, so be ready. Then we'll talk about the benefits of Vision AI. How is it changing our world? And then we'll go through the applications and finally a recap. So my first question to you is, what is Vision AI? When you think about it, what comes to your mind? Namrata, what comes to your mind?
To be able to see what human sees through their eyes. And AI kind of gives analytics like the human brain does.
Very, very true. Ashley, anything you would like to add?
Like self-driving cars use it.
Very true. Self-driving cars is one of the applications. So what is Vision AI? Vision AI is the ability of artificial intelligence to see and understand. To see and understand. Those 2 things are very, very important. Initially, we used to have a lot of cameras around the house, but the equipment could not interpret or understand what is happening. But here, the Vision AI understands what is happening. So that is Vision AI. Now, once we understand what Vision AI is, how does it differentiate between what I see and what the camera sees? Now think about this hypothetical situation. When I see a fountain, my brain immediately tells me that it is a fountain. It's very absolute in that way. But now think about when a camera sees something. Does it gives out that absolute answer? That's what we'll learn. So look at this image. When the human brain looks at the Neptune fountain, go to the eyes, goes to the brain, and we know exactly that it is a Neptune fountain. But now look at how a camera sees it. When the camera sees it, it goes to the computer. And then look at the data. It shows that percentage. It is not very absolute. It's not like 100% sure that is a Neptune fountain. So that's what I wanted to point out. It's never absolute. It's probabilistic. It gives the answers in probability. So that is the difference between Vision AI and a human vision. Now, once we understand the difference, now let's go through what are the different parts of Vision AI. The 3 different parts are, the first one is training, the second one is inference, and the third one is deployment. We'll try to understand each and every one in detail so we know how it works in real life. So the first one is model training. So before even we come to the model training, what do you think is the most important thing? To do the model training, what do we need? To do a model training, what do we need?
Data.
Data, that's right. But let's go into the details. What kind of data?
Real data.
Real data. That is, real data means we need data that represents what is happening or what the model will see in reality.
Mhm.
Okay, that's one part. But before we go into that, how should be our data be? I want to share an example.
Mhm.
If I'm teaching my model, okay, this is a cat, this is a dog. What kind of a data I'm showing?
Labeled data.
Yes, remember. So whenever we are showing any kind of data, it has to be labeled. If it's not labeled, the training model does not understand it.
Mhm.
And recently, there was this one company which was using AI to do the recruitment. And when it was using AI to do the recruitment, it was only selecting male candidates. What might be the reason why it was only selecting the male candidates?
Just programmed to only on male data.
Yes, because
Test data was skewed.
Trained on male data.
yes, it was skewed. So whenever we are doing any kind of training, we need to have, as Namrata said, the real life data. Or even if we have synthetic data, it should resemble the real life data. So that is the first important thing, having that labeled data. And the second one, it needs to be a representative sample of real life. Now, the first step is we need to have the data. Data needs to be prepared. Once our data is prepared, then we show it to the model. Then it starts extracting those features. Like for example, when I'm showing the cat, it kind of extracts, okay, how is the shape of the ears? How are the eyes? It's extracting those features. And when I'm showing multiple images of the cats, it is creating that pattern. Oh, the cat's eyes are like this, the ears are like this. So that is called as feature extraction. So you show the data, then it does the feature extraction. Now what happens is the more data we show, it starts understanding, oh, this is a cat or this is a dog. Here, the step that is most important is it needs to get an accuracy. The accuracy is very important. It has to be over 95% accurate. Then only we can move on to the next step. So accuracy is the key KPI in the model training phase. Once we hit the accuracy, then only we can go and move forward. Before we move forward, any questions regarding model training?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is human brain at birth like an empty model without any training?
That is a very interesting question.
Because we train children.
Yes. One thing it always reminds me or fascinates me is the story of the king. I come from a place in India where the mom was the creator of the king. He was not born as a king. And from that experience or the history lesson, I feel is we can even train humans, whatever we want them to be. So the only thing is the training has to be precise. The data has to be labeled.
Okay, thank you.
We would also need to ensure the model fits the data that we choose.
Yes, definitely. Very, very true. Nandita, you have a question?
It's half a question and half a comment. Actually, what I'm understanding is yesterday I pressed an app on my phone. It said the magnifier, and it was describing. Suddenly, I freaked out. It was describing a lady sitting on the sofa, a child playing on the floor. These are the toys with exact details. So, is this something related to the AI? Like they are getting the data from the phone and they're trying to make images, or is that something like that?
No, I'll explain. It's not like that.
Okay.
I'll explain as I go
Okay.
forward.
Okay. Okay.
And as I
Yeah.
show the applications, you will also understand it better.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So now once we understand how the model training is done, we go to the next part. Now the model is very good at predicting, oh, if it's a cat, it's a dog. Now the next phase is we show the images which it has not seen before. So we show an image, and can it now identify it? So what happens is, here two parameters are very important. The two parameters are, how fast can it do it? That is the latency. Latency and then throughput. How many can it go through? So these two parameters are very, very important. Then we know that do we need to optimize our model further? Another big thing that can happen in this step is we can compress our model. The compression is a key, because when we compress our model, we can change the amount of memory it has available. For example, if we go from like floating point 16 to floating point 8, what is happening is we are doubling the memory that is available for the model. But when we are doing that compression, we also have to make sure we don't lose on accuracy. Because sometimes compressing the model, you can lose the accuracy. So two parameters that are very, very important in this stage are how fast can it do it and how many can it identify. So remember those two things, latency and throughput. Now, once we have achieved good latency, good throughput, then we are ready to deploy this model. So when we are deploying, for example, if we are deploying 100,000 cameras in the city of Beijing, we want to run the data analytics. So we need to make sure that part works. And for data analytics, we have a separate SDK, which we can use, that is called as a deep stream, that can help us with the data analytics part of it. So that is one aspect, making sure our data analytics works in this step. But there is one more step. If you have 100,000 cameras you need to connect, how can I do it one by one by one? It can be very time consuming. But then there is another software which can help us to connect with those all 100,000 points in one go. That is called as Fleet Command. So these two softwares are very, very important in deployment because they help us to do the data analytics, and they also help us to connect with like 100,000 cameras. Or for example, if you think about an autonomous car, you have 8 to 10 cameras. It can connect to all those cameras in one go. So those two things are helpful for this step. But what is the KPI? What is the key process indicator in this step? That key process indicator in this step is how good adoption is your model. Is it getting adopted in the field? If the adoption is high, it means your model is successful. But if the adoption is not high, then you have to go back and work on it again. So those are the three parts. The first part is model training, then inference, and then the deployment. So what is the advantage of all these things? There are few advantages. Let's go through one by one. The first of all, it's very accurate. The accuracy, once you train with the labeled data, the accuracy is pretty high. And another big benefit is the cost savings. The cost savings are huge. And since if we have a good accuracy, it also helps us to have a good traceability. We get real-time updates. And those are very helpful for deployment. Another thing which I wanted to tell you is safety is also very good. Once you train the model accurately, all these 5 benefits you get. Now let's look at the applications. What are the different applications? The first and foremost is the autonomous cars. Think about Tesla. Tesla does not have any other technology. It just uses cameras. It does not have a LiDAR. So what is happening is, when the camera sees an image, it needs to understand, oh, this is a walker, or there's a bicycle, or there's a trash can, or there's a truck coming by. So all these things, it needs to accurately identify. Recently, I was looking at the model, because when the camera is looking, it can only see maybe 50 feet or 100 feet. But how can we enable a camera to look at the object which is 200 meters away? Can we train it better to identify so that it can make changes? So autonomous car is one of the biggest applications for vision AI. Another big application is in the field of medicine. Especially, it can identify tumors in our lungs, tumors in our brains. It's all about imaging. It goes through a lot. We are showing the model a lot of different kinds of images. And once it learns the pattern, then it can give us a lot of helpful information. And that's why when you think about radiology, the future of radiology, I'm not very sure, because I feel AI can take over radiology because of the images it can understand and share that information with us. So medicine is another one. Another thing is, when I go to my workplace, sometimes I don't have to show my badge. It directly recognizes my face and it opens the gate. So what it is doing is, it's looking at my face. The facial recognition software is helping it identify who it is. So this is another big benefit. And finally, surveillance. For example, we can keep our public places safe by having the right cameras and also training those cameras to look for activities that can be suspicious. So it can alert us, it can directly alert the police. So surveillance is another big application. As we go into recapping what we learned, so here are a few things. The first thing, Vision AI is the ability of artificial intelligence to see and understand. It gives us that data analytics. We can ask any question. It's like generative AI. Remember, Vision AI is never obsolete. It's in probabilistic. It gives us the data in probability. The 3 parts of Vision AI: model training, where data is very, very important, and it has to be labeled, and the data has to be such that it represents the real world. And the key KPI for that model training is what kind of accuracy we are getting. Only if we are getting 95% of the accuracy, we go to the next step, that is inference. Inference, you show the images it has not seen before, and try to understand how fast and how many images can it go through. We need to understand the latency as well as the throughput. And in this step, we can also compress the model. The compression of the model helps us to have more memory. But at the same time, we have to make sure we're not losing on the accuracy. And finally, our step is deployment. When we are deploying, we need to make sure we have the data analytics, and we are connected to all the different edge cameras. There are many benefits. Few key benefits are cost savings, accuracy, traceability, and real-time updates. Those are few. And finally, it has many applications like autonomous cars, facial recognition, medicine, and also surveillance. Any questions?
Who builds these models and how do you build it?
So one thing I want to tell you is we don't need to build a model. We don't need to start from scratch. There are companies which are already giving you models. Like for example, NVIDIA gives you Nemotron. Once you have that model, you can use another application of theirs called as Nemo, which can help you to change this model according to your needs. So that makes your job easy, because if you start from scratch, it's going to take a longer time. But just use the model which is already available. There are many vision models available.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
Anybody has any other question?
What are some of the areas where AI vision lacks today, and what are some of the critical improvements that are needed to make it safe for usage?
So initially, the computation that was needed was not there. But with the advances of Blackwell architecture and the next upcoming Rubin, that issue will be solved. But the main issue remains is data. We need to have the labeled data as well as the data which is representative of the real world. So that issue still remains. We have to keep on working on that, making sure we have the right data. And sometimes if we don't have the right data, we can create synthetic data, which represents the real world. And it can also go through the edge situations. Because sometimes if we are only looking at one type of data, it does not have all the variations. Synthetic data can help us to go through all types of variations. So that's the place where it lacks sometimes.
In the data world, there's the term gold standard data. When we're doing things as critical as this, which is going to be widely consumed, how do we ensure this gold standard data is used to train these critical models? What steps should we be recommending to ensure completeness of data to avoid biases?
So once we have figured out that, we now have the gold standard data, we can create the containers for it. So when we are training other models, we can use the same data which is in the container. And that makes it easier for us to make sure that whenever that model is trained, it is using the same data. So putting in that container is very, very helpful. Yes, Krishna.
So you explained on the second step, mainly the inference step, where we try to give or show images or data which is that has not been trained as part of that model. I didn't exclusively understand on how are we trying to collect such a pictures or data, and a follow-up question is how are we trying to compress it and see the accuracy, like it is giving almost the whatever we have predicted it should be, it is giving that prediction as per the expectation.
Definitely. So the first question, like suppose if I have images of 10 cats and I show the model the images of the 10 cats. Now I want to check if it's working. Okay. And I don't have that image. I will ask you, hey, do you have any other images which my model hasn't seen? And if you give me that image and I show it to the model, then it's that inference. Is it able to identify it still with that accuracy? Okay. So what I'm saying is when the inference, when we are doing it, we are not showing the data it's trained on. Now, thinking about compression of the model. Okay. So for a like FP16 means you're using 16 bits to store the information. Okay. But now if you're using 8 bits to store information, that is compression that is happening. Like for example, when you look at the Blackwell GPUs, they can do FP16, FP8, and FP4. Means that each information is stored in either 16 bits or 8 bits or 4 bits. That's how we do the model compression. But at the same time, we want to make sure we are not losing on the accuracy.
Got it. But is it like, on a simple example or layman terms, I understand the cat scenario with 10 cats image showing up versus taking 11th one. But in real time, we will be putting like thousands of, I mean, it is not simply images, right? It could be simply like a data, proper data as the wordings or something. So how are we ensuring in such a large volume, the new inferences which we want to predict or see whether it is giving correct data, how are we making sure it is out of that already trained model?
So now think about Waymo. Okay. Initially when Waymo started, it was only in that San Francisco city. It was trained on the data which was only in San Francisco. So when it got better, and then they had more data, they increased the size where Waymos could go. So they increased the amount of data it had seen. And slowly and steadily, the more data it sees, it will also come to San Jose.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Shalini,
Yeah.
you have a
So
question?
my question is regarding the cameras which we install inside the houses or the surveillance cameras. It is collecting all the data. Say, if it is on, it knows my timing when I'm eating food, when I'm doing what. So is there any single most important policy or some rule which we can implement to ensure trust in AI vision systems? How do you trust it?
Yes. So one thing I want to say is, surveillance, sometimes it just keeps on taking images. It's not, doesn't have the data analytics which we want. Like for example, if I have a surveillance system and I can ask a question, hey, was there any issues did you see? So then we know that it has AI running on top of it.
Okay.
But normally our surveillance system, we just have that information, it records for like 24 hours or maybe 3 days and then erases that to create more room for more data.
But how do I trust the company that it will not leak out the data or?
Yes. So you have to make sure if the data goes into the cloud. And if the data goes into the cloud, is it being shared?
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the things that are important. Yes, Namrata.
As you said, radiology is one of the field can get replaced by it, and you'll be much more accurate even than the radiologist based on the data that it is getting trained. So what happens to all those people who are right now radiologists? And where do you see, and like Vinod Khosla said, dystopia and utopia, a farmer can be oncologist can be a farmer. Where do you see this happening, going? And how do people have income with AI taking over all this?
When AI is taking over, it's also creating a lot of jobs. We need a lot of data scientists. For the first step, they only can be done by data scientists. So there are more jobs opening for that. And then the next step, which is inference, you need the ML ops people, who are doing that kind of a job. So what is happening is, though some jobs are going, but there are new jobs which are coming up, and we need to keep on constantly training so that we know where there is like, for example, when I started my career, I was not in semiconductors, and like 15 years ago, I knew that semiconductors is going to be the hard field, and I need to find my way there. So I need to develop those skills that can be very valuable for that industry. So what I'm saying is, we have to keep on learning, we have to keep on upskilling ourselves. And AI is something we need to be using every day.
So follow-up question. What do we do now to train?
What do we do now? You have the best trainer in the world, which is ChatGPT. You can ask it any information. Like, for example, I was preparing for an interview, and there was that one domain I had no knowledge of. But I asked ChatGPT, hey, tell me everything I need to know. And once it told me, I read it, and then I said, okay, let's go through Q&A answers. Ask me a question, and I'll answer it. And it was guiding me as I was going on. And when I appeared for the interview, at least I knew something about it. I was not at zero. So we need to keep on using AI to learn things.
So, thank you.
Anybody has any more questions?
Yes, Tejaswi.
Thank you, Abhijeet, for the wonderful session. So, following up with Namrata's question, so I come from data analytics background. So I would like to know, so we already are overwhelmed with a lot of data, and now the vision data, when you said, I was just thinking, how do we really make use of that data and uh, make it insightful for you guys or the ones who are taking care of the next steps? So what would be your suggestion or maybe advice on this part?
One thing which I'm learning is the data is going to be very important, and the label data is going to be very important. Now, there are a lot of jobs which they have to just label the data. One of my friend is working on a startup, and that startup relates to data and also blockchain. For example, when we are labeling the data and having that blockchain and AI can help us to understand if that data is consistent or not. Because whenever you're doing blockchain for cryptocurrency, there is a ledger, and that ledger is the proof that it can never be replaced. And similar kind of ledgers, if we can have it on each and every type of data, makes your job easy because, oh, it has a ledger, it's accurate. So that can help move things at a very fast pace.
Any more questions coming in?
Abhijeet, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What is the most exciting part of Vision AI for you?
Most exciting part. One thing I want to tell you is since 2024, one industry is becoming very big. That is humanoids. Humanoids are coming very, very soon. And Vision AI is a part of a humanoid. So I feel that industry is going to be using Vision AI. And you will see maybe in 5 years, we'll have humanoids working in our kitchen, making some tea for us.
That would be great, actually.
I have a question for you, Abhijeet. So Since AI is now in every field, which area do you think AI will not be able to take over? Or, you need humans like in that area and AI cannot do anything. Is there any such area?
One thing I'm learning is when you're doing program management, AI can help you, but AI cannot take your job because you have to be behind people. Hey, get this done. I need it now. And if you have a job like that where you have to be behind people, then it cannot be replaced by I feel. Yes, Nandita.
Yes, so AI will take the photos, and also how do we prevent kids from being bullied by AI generated photos?
That's something we need to have a regulations for. We want to make sure that we make AI safe, and especially with kids and stuff, and also with deepfakes. We want to make sure it doesn't seize images which are not real.
Okay. Thank you.
Namrata?
So now it is very hard to believe it's a real, which is a fake, whether it's an image or video. So there are tools now that can do this. But for common man, it's very hard to believe now any news. Anything that comes could be fake and could be real. So how does one do as a common man believe in or do what to do so that we know what to go by? What is true, what is not true?
Don't believe anything you see. The first thing.
Unless you see.
So there used to be a phrase earlier, right? What you see, what you get. So now it's not that.
Yeah.
There should be a framework of laws and rules which should be implemented while using or while creating these applications. Like a trademark or something saying that this is created using AI, like a copyright thing.
That will be very helpful.
Yeah. Whenever anybody is using a AI tool or an app, they should automatically print that thing on the image.
Like the watermarks on the images.
Yes, like watermarks. Yeah,
Any
but I think
question?
it will take some time to create those rules, right,
Yes,
Abhijit?
It will
definitely.
be hard because you want to create a card and don't want to show it's created by someone else.
Yes.
That's why having a ledger to that image is going to be valuable.
Yeah.
Like blockchain and AI, if they get combined, that will be very helpful for us.
Mm-hmm. That was truly fascinating, Abhijit. So I think we all just got a clearer picture of the future of tech and Vision AI, what it is, how it's being used, how it's being implemented in our daily lives. Thanks to Abhijit and his fantastic workshop. So thank you, Abhijit, for sharing your expertise with us today. Now, to help Abhijit, I would like you to give a quick feedback to him. Take 1 minute. And we have also posted the QR code and the link to a form for feedback so that we can improve our workshops. And I am hoping all of you will be there next Tuesday for the AI bubble, AI bubble trouble workshop, which we are having next Tuesday at the same time. So be there. It's going to be a very interesting speech where we talk a little bit about the negative side of AI, the trouble it is causing. So be there. Mark your calendars. I hope all of you have filled the feedback form. And any questions, you can connect with us anytime. Yeah, I am going to leave my email ID here. So you can send me an email. We are running this 5-week series with very different topics. Each week there's going to be a different topic so that you learn more about AI. You can talk about it. For example, now I can talk about AI vision so well, and I'm sure everybody else also. You have learned so much today. Yes, Namrata, please go ahead.
I want to share one experience. So
Yes.
at one point, I don't know if you remember, I had fractured my elbow and my right arm has some disability. And my car is a self-driving car, it's a Tesla. I was able to run, my husband was traveling, I was by myself. So I could go everywhere with this self-driving car. That is the power of Vision AI, which today Avijit mentioned. So I want to share this story.
Thank you. Karthik, I would like to know what is your feedback?
I'm from IT background, but I'm more the companies are talking about AI. So when I saw this in the meetup, I just want to attend the workshop here. And it was much helpful because I didn't know about Vision AI. That is something new that I want to explore it actually. So I got some idea or overall picture of like what is that Vision AI and Abhijit, like again, like he taught he started from what is Vision AI, which is much helpful actually from the fundamentals. It is good.
Awesome. What about you, Ashley? What did you think about the workshop and today's meeting? Yes. Ashley, you are on mute. Okay, while you figure out your microphone, I can ask Krishna. Krishna, what did you think about the workshop today?
It's very good, especially for people who are new or from diversified backgrounds. It is more structured on starting with what Vision AI is, how Vision AI is used, and in what applications and benefits. So it's simple, precise, and clear for anybody to understand whether they're IT or non-IT. At least this is good. This will be a good starting point where you can see everywhere people keep saying AI this much. Like you will be seeing a lot of information and posts on this. You will get lost on what to see or what to hear. So I found this as a good start and good understanding on Vision AI.
Thank you. Ashley? Okay, I think she's having some trouble with her microphone. You can put your opinion in the chat also. We can read it out. Mr. Ram.
Yeah. For me, the AI so far has been asking questions and getting answers on my phone. This was all new stuff. So,
Did you enjoy the session?
yeah, I think I'm going to attend all of them.
Yeah, do send us your feedback in the form and feedback to Abhijit directly if you have anything else you want to say to him.
I think
Sure.
I'm exposed to
Ashley is yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ram. Yeah.
Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, my computer is in the shop, so this one just spins and spins right now, but it might go out. I learned a lot, and I'm really interested in computer vision and know a little bit about it, but I like the way that you explained it. It was very clear, and some light bulbs went off in my head along the way as you were explaining, and I liked the talk a lot, and I enjoyed coming to this group, so thanks for setting this up.
Thank you, Ashley. Did I cover everyone? Anybody else who wants to say something? Any questions? You're free to ask any questions about AI Vision or our Toastmaster Club. So we have meetings every Tuesday, 7 to 8 p.m. And we bring in like skill building workshops or just speeches, public speaking, building confidence, all the stuff we do. That's it. Okay. So thank you so much, Abhijit. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you all next Tuesday for the next session, next workshop. Okay.
Thank
See
you,
you.
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Good evening.
Do you want
Bye.
to take a picture before we all drop off, Shalini?
Do what?
Do you want to take a picture before we all drop off?
Yeah,
We
I
can
would
do
love
it next
to.
time too.
Yeah, no, let me take a picture of everyone. Please come on camera. Krishna, could you please come on camera? Meenakshi? Okay, I'll take a picture. Oops, 1 second. Again. Hold on. Smile, everyone. No, didn't come correctly. Yes, smile, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, ABHIJEET. Have a great
Thank
night. Take
you.
care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.